courtesy of No Jumper subreddit about Houseman being a fucking drug addict, and this is something that is obviously now affecting him to the point where he's willing to kind of work again with fucking Adam 22 because he needs to pay for his druggers, which is, is what it is. Everyone's got their vices, but it's just upsetting more so because of how he was treated there, and now he's kind of running back to Massa because he literally needs the money. So let's go back to this clip here. This is a new one, courtesy of No Jumper subreddit, which features Trell here on his show talking about wanting to help house phone, but him not wanting to help.
It's like house phone. You feel me? Like, I see something wrong with you. I know for sure, like, you doing drugs. I see it. Your legs is going out. You falling. You cannot walk. I love you to death. He coming to work here and there. He in his right mind. He fly. I'm like, cuz, you know what? I'm calling the doctor. I got doctor and nurse on the phone. Hey, bro. Nigga, I think something wrong with you, nigga. I think, you know what I'm saying? This same thing that's happening right now, I seen a nigga die.
Yeah.
You feel me? Like, this same thing that happened, like, this just happened to AD grandma. Like, that's just how she died. Like, here, let's just try to get some help for you real quick. Nigga, just go to the doctor. You ain't got no medical insurance. Don't even worry about it. We gonna do this and that, the other. Go see these niggas. I got the doctor on the phone. This at the hospital. It's right here, nigga, down the street.
Yeah.
He like, all right, cool. You know what I'm saying? Here go the number. Never call. You feel me? Like, some niggas just don't be, like, want to help. And I don't know if it's, like, a mental thing or however it is, but you got niggas that want to help and some niggas just don't want to help. So at that point, they don't want help. Just go. You got to let them go. You feel me? Like,
so obviously you're going to get the point of this. Now, just to kind of end my whole soliloquy in this, I don't want to go on and on about this because it's a fucking bit boring after a while. But essentially, I've got two kind of final points to make on this. As much as the whole drug addict thing is probably true with house phone, I think what this basically proves is that I've been watching a lot of these guys that do content online, especially the guys who are like a little bit successful where they can kind of do it full time and shit. And I feel like a lot of these guys really and truly kind of overestimate their value in some respects, especially if they appear on a platform that's already ready made, like No Jumper. Essentially, on No Jumper, you sit in front of a microphone, you speak for maybe 5 hours a week or something, you get paid a decent amount of money. I think AD said recently he was getting paid $2,000, I think 2,000 something every 2 weeks for his appearances on No Jumper. And maybe he's not the best example because he did quite a bit for them, but imagine you do like 10 hours a week working for No Jumper, right? Which is not that much time really, but all you do is sit in front of a camera, everything's made for you, cameras are ready, you put a pair of headphones on, react to the news online, and you get paid 2,000, right? Cool. I think a lot of these guys overestimate their value and they legitimately think that they're worth more than $2,000 every 2 weeks for sitting in front of a camera for 20 hours for 2 weeks. They overestimate their value. So they then go and try and do their own thing. But then realize when you try and do your own thing, it's a lot harder than sitting on the No Jumper platform. No Jumper platform's already got, 1 million plus subscribers, built-in views. No matter who they put in front of the fucking microphone or the front of the camera, they're always going to get a decent amount of views. But doing it on your own is a real grind and sort of the same level of opportunity. So I think a lot of these guys overestimated their value and they went too far, right? They kind of shot their load too quickly and they decided to go and run and do their own thing and it obviously didn't work out. And now they're realizing, some of them, that the grind is longer and the money isn't as frequent or as plentiful as it probably was in the past. So I think with fucking house phone, he's in a position where literally he's now realizing that maybe as much as he's been there from the beginning, like, and we probably all look at him probably because of his own shoes he's got with the dice on it and, how he talks about shit. We probably look at house phone like a boss, but he's not. He's probably just a really good employee, and there's nothing wrong with being a really good employee. There really is nothing wrong with being somebody that works really well, or somebody that's a good number 2, a good number 3, a good number 4, a good number 5. We lionized way too much this idea that everyone has to be their own entrepreneur, everyone needs their own platform, everyone needs their own fucking station, and it's too lionized. Sometimes being a good co-host or being a good one of many hosts is actually a good thing to do. So maybe in House Phone's case, putting aside his drug addiction, which is clear, and his need for money in that respect, maybe he does need to go back to No Jumper. Maybe he should go back to No Jumper, swallow his pride, swallow his integrity, swallow his morals, and just say, you know what, fuck it, I need the money. I need the fucking regular income to kind of keep me somewhat stable. Because if this is what he's doing just to get a quick money, to kind of put some money in his pocket to do this and put his morals and principles and integrity to one side, and whatever else it may be, just imagine how far this may go. This may go kind of far if he decides to do this more often. So maybe to kind of not have that dark door open, maybe go back and work regularly with these guys and kind of go about it that way. That might be actually a good way to kind of do things. But then the other side of things, the second thing I was thinking, number two, is that it's okay to let people like this just crash out. I know this is a really strange thing to say, and I say it often on here, I think because I know I have the proclivity to like, I know I have like a proclivity or like a, not even proclivity. I know probably I have like a possible part of me that's able to just like turn it all off and not give a fuck. It's never happened before, but I know I do have that button, right? And I know it's not like a, oh, I grew up bad and I had this abuse. No, it's nothing to do with that. Just sometimes, you know, inside of you, you've got that ability to press a button and you just stop giving a fuck. So I think sometimes it's quite insulting when people think you need help. Sometimes, right? Sometimes you don't. Sometimes you're perfectly fine doing the thing that you're doing, even if it's destructive. I use a point as example as Bert Kreischer. Sometimes we look at him as like, oh, this is a sad case. I don't think so. I just think he lives in a world where like it's not socially acceptable to like live a life of like pure gluttony and fucking enjoyment and drinking in excess. It's not looked upon as a good thing, so people kind of look down upon it. But he enjoys every minute of it. He tries to get on camera and pretend he doesn't, and tries to act like he's having a crisis of confidence and midlife crisis and shit. Not really. He's perfectly fine where he is. He's just wanting to sound normal and sound kind of well adjusted. So I think in Housephone's case, it's perfectly fine to let it play out how it plays out. However it goes, I don't think it's a bad or good thing. I just think it's very telling. Like I can see some of the tendencies that I've maybe displayed in the past in Housephone, in like his kind of, you know, the way he acts and shit. But I think a lot of it, legitimately, I think could be dealt with or sorted out if he just ended up getting a regular job. But again, people like Housephone, these kind of guys, they have a weird complex in their head. He's probably not good enough to run his own platform. He doesn't have the work ethic, as Brendan Schaub would say, to run his own platform. He doesn't have the fucking, you know, this self-discipline to do it. But he's also too proud to get a job. That's a fact of it. Someone like him is too proud at this stage to just go work a regular job, even part-time, just to get some money in so that he's not frantically doing weird shit to get money to buy drugs. You know what I mean? Just have a steady income, use that money to buy many 8-balls as you want, as many fucking Xanaxes as you want, but, you know, sitting there on like a fucking freelancer's wage trying to make the thing work is a bit sketchy, you know what I mean? It's a bit sketchy. So I think he's in a bit of a bad place, but again, none of my business. I got nothing else to say about that, but it kind of is what it is.